Caution. Hazardous waste. Do not enter. Hi, I'm Dr. Sri Banerjee, core faculty for the College of Health Sciences at Walden University. This sign that I read at the beginning, this is a yellow sign that is found in many different sites and also an important indicator that there is some sort of hazardous waste, whether it's radiation or dangerous chemicals, present. Now, let's shift gears a little bit from thinking about hazardous materials to thinking about something else that is closer to home. Think about when your remote control to your TV, it dies. The batteries have died. Can you think of what is the next action that you would take once the battery dies? Take a moment. Think back. It's okay if the answer in your mind was, I just throw them in the trash. But guess what? Batteries contain some surprisingly noxious chemicals, and these are actually metals. So some of these are cadmium, lithium, lead, mercury, manganese, and potassium. So this is why it is so important for batteries to go through a special recycling process rather than just being tossed in the trash. So this recycling process, some of the processes that take place are it's placed into a hammer mill, which smashes the batteries, allowing the liquid toxins to leak out of them. Then the metal is swept away, disposed separately from the toxins. Then the toxicants are placed in a containment in which they separate themselves out with the help of gravity and science. So basically, each of these metals are then disposed in an environmentally friendly way according to the different types. So the answer is to use a battery bank or a battery bag. So you can see from this example that there are small changes that can really help impact and save the environment. And so to see that, these hazards have a real impact. When this hazard is magnified hundredfold, thousandfold, millionfold, imagine its hazard becoming even invisible. Then what happens? Well, as it turns out, radiation is just that type. It is a type of energy. It's invisible. It's noxious, and it's completely invisible and yet just as dangerous. So while the potential for radiation exposure can come from everything from X-ray machines to the radon particles being released from underground, one potential area we will be discussing about are nuclear reactors and how the various types of radiation penetrate. While the potential for radiation exposure can come from everything from X-ray machines to the radon that's emitted from underground, to everything else. But one potential area that we'll be really discussing about and honing in on are nuclear reactors and how the various types of radiation penetrate through the body and have varied effects. Let's consider this a little bit right now. Think about the alpha particles. Have you ever heard of alpha particles? Well, these particles in radiation can't even pass through skin. So then, what's the issue? Well, it turns out that gamma particles, that is another radiation byproduct, that actually gets all the way into your DNA, potentially causing all sorts of damage, even cancer. So you'll also see something else that is really unique is that some of these effects take decades to really have an impact on the body. So that's another challenge in trying to really understand the effect on the human body. But going back to radiation, How can this even affect workers differently than people living in residential areas and communities? I hope some of these ideas within this video have helped in how you think about hazardous waste. Thank you for listening.